and welcome back to the Blind Press YouTube channel. And it is Saturday, which means it is Star Trek Day. And I am joined by everybody. We've got Skep and Irate and Hammer and Dax. How is everyone today?
Good.
Blah.
Well said.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
And today we are discussing Skep Tock's picks for Deep Space Nine. And may I say, sir, well picked.
So you like these?
I
picks?
loved all three of them.
Yeah.
And for the benefit of the audience, they are Trials and Tribulations, which is the Star Trek Deep Space Nine original series crossover. In the Pale Moonlight and Far Beyond the Stars. And all three of them were just awesome picks.
Well, thank you.
Really well done. Yeah.
You have to realize my all-time favorite DS9 of I think I've seen pretty close to every episode now. As we all remember from previous discussions, I was a DS9 neophyte when all this started.
Yeah.
But many binge watching episodes later, I've seen an awful lot of DS9, probably pretty much all of it. And by far and away, there's one episode that stands out above, head and shoulders above all the rest, including my other two picks, and that is Trials and Tribulations.
Yeah.
And for the simple reason that, at the end of the day, I'm a TOS bigot. And I love things that harken back to TOS. I like callbacks to it. I like the cross-referencing and seeing how I love seeing how future generations in that canon, the future generations revere the old masters like Kirk and Scotty, and it's interesting to see who they know about and who they don't know about, and seeing them puzzling over what was the doctor's name. It was McCoy, right? Yeah, I think it was Leonard McCoy. I thought that was interesting that they didn't know his name very well. I figured that they would all be mythic characters and so forth, but anyway, yeah, there's a lot to discuss there. The other ones I liked for different reasons, because I think they went out of the normal milieu of here's life on board the DS9, which DS9 had the potential to be mired in boredom permanently. It did. Because it's not a spaceship that goes anyplace, so adventures have to come to it, and eventually they had to get get spacecraft to take them some places.
Yes.
just because they were running out of things to do on board DS9. And but between the spacecraft, they did procure the holodeck and various other things, and the creatures and situations that came to DS9, plus the interactions with the Bajorans and all the the wormhole and so forth. It really was. It turned into, in my opinion, an excellent part of the Star Trek canon, a worthy peer to TNG to take their place in honoring the original series. So, and Trials and Tribulations, to have an episode that actually cut into and used chunks of the original, The Trouble with Tribbles.
And not at all in a hokey way either.
No,
Not
nearly
at
seamlessly. It was great.
Yes, that was awesome. I just love the way that was. But so anyway,
shall we start with Trials and Tribulations since it goes in order?
Absolutely.
All right. So the plot, really quickly to summarize, before we don't jump into why it's a great episode, is Cisco is being interviewed basically interrogated by the Department of Temporal Investigations. And he recounts the story of how one of the Bajoran orbs was being returned, and it happened to be the orb of time. And he and Kira and Odo it was he, Dax, Kira, Odo, Worf, and O'Brien.
And O'Brien.
And they were on the Defiant going to get this orb. And they've picked up a passenger when they retrieved the orb, who activated the orb by very nefarious circumstances and took them back in time to the time of Kirk. Specifically the time of the episode Trouble with Tribbles. And they then have to spend the episode finding who they find out is the future version of Arn Darvin, the Klingon spy who was aboard K7, and stop him from killing Kirk and basically ruining the timeline. And it is brilliantly interspliced with chunks of the original episode. And
brilliant is not too strong a term.
No, it's really
fair.
well done. It is very well done. And I love how they even had some scenes like juxtaposed.
Yes. And
like it was
the lineup with Kirk, and there's O'Brien standing in the line.
Yeah, who threw the first punch? I don't know, sir. And then afterwards, O'Brien's like, he asked me who threw the first punch. I lied to
James Kirk.
It was great. It was amazing.
It's full of the episode is full of moments like that.
Yes, I loved the moments between Dax and Cisco.
Yes,
because Dax was alive.
Yep.
In this time, and she's like, I just want to go meet Kirk, and he's like, no,
bad idea.
But it would be fun, too much fun.
Yeah. So you want to continue with the synopsis?
Well, that was basically the synopsis.
Okay, all right.
So, Skep, why, other than it being a crossover with one of your other favorite episodes from TOS, why did you like?
There's so many things to like. There are so many things to like. For one thing, you get the feeling that this was an episode where the director said, "Guys, we're gonna have a little bit of fun with this one."
Yes. And
they just kind of let them go. I didn't even mind Kira that much.
No.
In this episode, her scenery chewing was not offensive. And,
she did get to stay on the Defiant basically and do nothing while the rest of them did stuff.
Yeah,
so.
And that was an awesome move. Sticking her back there and kind of being the anchor back in that reality.
It was a smart thing to do because she has the least amount of interaction with this time frame.
Yeah.
Because she's Bajoran, and at this point in time, the humans have no idea that the Bajoran even exists.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Everybody else over there, except for Worf, and they know who Klingons are. Everyone else is human, so it's easy for everyone else.
Those Klingons.
Yeah, the Klingons look a little different from Worf.
Yeah. The point being is that they don't know who Bajorans are, so she's the logical person to stay on the show.
Behind, yeah.
We don't talk to outsiders about that.
Which we like. Anything that doesn't have Kira in it, we like that.
Exactly.
And plus it reprises one of my favorite scenes in all of Star Trek, anytime, anywhere, is the moment when Scotty, with a glint in his eye, says, "Laddie, do you think you might want to rephrase that?"
Yep.
I just love that moment. It's a
I found myself quoting it along with Jimmy Doohan when I was rewatching it this morning.
that was just great.
Giggling to myself, and then the fight starts, and then you have and because I can't see it, which one of them got involved first? Because I hear Odo go, "What are you doing?" And he's talking to one of the Deep Space Nine guys, and I can't figure out who it is. It's probably Worf, who I'm guessing.
I thought it was Worf, so
I'm guessing it was Worf.
Yeah.
Well, this is the time for me to be a wet blanket on this, because I understand there's a plot here that they have to progress.
Yeah.
And they wanted to interweave the group into the old series. I get that. But I don't think Chief O'Brien or Bashir would actually participate in a bar fight.
O'Brien would.
O'Brien would.
O'Brien would, yeah.
Well, don't look at his Irish background and make assumptions, being Irish myself.
No, I'm not.
He loves a good fight.
This is a family man with a young child. He's not going to get in a bar fight where he can get his face broken. He's just not going to do it.
I just have to
not
agree with
in
you.
the 24th century. I think at the point where we've gotten to the point where, and he has no emotional stake in this. Keep in mind that he's not a member of the Enterprise. So
he was.
Bashir is certainly not going to ruin his hands.
These
I don't believe it.
These guys are interacting among people they consider almost religious icons.
Also,
and somebody is insulting those religious icons. I can see for emotion overruling reason very easily.
Also, if you think about it, O'Brien did serve on an Enterprise.
Well,
and
they're religious icons so much that they can't recognize that one of them is not Kirk.
Okay.
Well,
a
few of them did.
Man. We're going to disagree on that one. We can move on.
Because Odo wasn't fooled. And somebody else wasn't. There was another person that was saying, "Why does he have lieutenant stripes?"
Yeah. Yes. But I'm talking about the two people who got into a fight.
But I don't know. I think O'Brien.
I don't think they would do that.
I think O'Brien's got a bit more of an angry streak. Not just because he's Irish. But
even if that is an ask on the part of the writers, it's not one that I begrudge.
No.
Them, because I'm having too good a time in this episode.
It took me out of it a little bit, is what I'm saying. I was looking, I was like, what? Nah, they wouldn't do that. You know, maybe I can understand.
Bashir, maybe I'd buy your argument with Bashir, but I don't buy it with O'Brien.
Yeah, it's definitely stronger with Bashir than is O'Brien. O'Brien is obviously a scrapper kind of guy.
Yeah.
And I think that's one of the reasons why he went on to DS9 to fix that base station to the point where it was operable.
Yeah.
Because he is that kind of guy who can find a way to make it work.
He hated Cardassians too.
Yeah. So I mean, maybe more him, but I just can't imagine.
Bashir's a bit of a sheep, though. You got to admit, Bashir is a bit of a sheep.
Yeah, he's a little delicate.
Yeah. And even after he hits a guy, he makes a gesture to the camera like, "I broke a nail," like, "Ow, that hurt my hand."
Oh dear, did you see what I just did?
Yeah, exactly.
I stay, old chap.
Exactly, precisely.
Oh,
so, anyway, but that aside, there was just so much great fun in this, and so much fun to relive one of the greatest episodes of all Star Trekia, The Trouble with Tribbles. And I just want two things, and find this guy and somebody close this door.
I just want to know what they did with all the Tribbles on Deep Space Nine.
I I actually did think about that at the end of it. I thought, man, that could be a, if you think that's a problem on a starship, on a space station,
Yeah.
holy crap, that could be a huge problem. Although it was fun to see Quark decorated with Quark's bar, just all of the there's tribbles
Derek's
everywhere,
shop.
including one on his head between his lobes.
Yeah.
So that was,
How'd that get there?
yeah, exactly. And why was it there? But I figured it probably fell off the ceiling, latched onto his head.
There was another scene that bothered me is when they come across the Enterprise after they've traveled through time. According to the Kudas, there's 23 Constitution class starships running at the same time as the Enterprise. They run across this ship, and the first thing is, oh, that's the Enterprise. They're underneath it. There's no markings underneath for which Constitution class ship this is. How did they know that was the Enterprise?
They may have a molecular scan.
When they would have that information on the Defiant?
That information would be they cached that information.
Yeah, I would have thought that Cisco would say something. Well, it's definitely Constitution class. O'Brien, move us around. I want to see what the call letters are. Oh, 171.
That's because
that's
you live in this century and you identify things by looking at the marks painted on the side. I think in that century they probably have more sophisticated ways.
Picard would have done what Hammer just did.
We don't really see any of that though. Kira doesn't come up and say, "Well, we've scanned the ship and it's this ship." You don't hear any of that. They just look at the screen and make these decisions.
Yeah.
Didn't seem right to me. Maybe I'm nitpicky on this a little bit, but I think the director and the writer could have been a little bit more. What's the word I'm looking for here? A little bit more normal.
Diligent.
Well, diligent, obviously diligent to the facts, but they could have been more. They could have explained it better so that it made sense.
Yeah.
Just skipping right to, oh, that's Kirk's ship. Wait. How do we know that? There's nothing that says how they knew that. So. That was, and also
you're acting a little bit triple-phobic. Frankly.
I am triple-phobic. The last thing I want to mention, because you guys know I'm going to be the wet blanket when it comes to all this kind of stuff. But
sure, if it's fun, you're going to come down on it.
If it's DS9, I'm going to come down on it. But I watched this on a 4K monitor, and maybe it's my equipment, maybe it's the versions of the show that I have. But on a 4K monitor, I can see obvious differences in the grain of the shot when it was on original content and when it was mixed with content and it was only on them. When it was only on them, it looked 1080p. But when it was on a mixed content or just on the old content, TOS stuff, it looked very 480 there's a lot of grain in the shot. And I was like, that kind of took me out a little bit. I was like, and it really bothered me that much. I just noticed it. It wasn't a big deal.
I noticed it also.
It wasn't a big deal, but I just noticed it. And finally, the fact that they pulled in not just the trouble with tribbles, but they also pulled in mirror.
Right.
And they changed mirror. I thought that was kind of an insult. I like Marina Moreau, and you're kind of erasing her a little bit by changing that ending. It seemed kind of hokey.
Yeah.
Those are all my bad parts. It was I believe me, when you say that you like when Star Trek pays homage to previous episodes or previous series, I am 100% right there with you.
Yeah.
I love when they pull in stuff because the average person who's watching Trek is like, what are they talking about?
Mm-hmm.
You just gotta laugh to yourself. You're like, oh, you're not a Trekkie, are you?
Yeah.
you
so just go. It's like, thank you very much, writers.
Yeah. So when they do callbacks, I kind of like, yeah, that's right. That's a callback. I love it. Yeah. So I'm right there with you on that.
It doesn't like you, Mr. Darwin. I wonder why.
Yeah. And the reference to how Klingons have changed, how Worf just kind of says it's a long story. We know the story. From the show Enterprise. We know why they changed. So that was another kind of callback to a show that didn't exist yet.
Yeah.
It was a call forward.
It was a setup.
Yeah. Anyway. So I don't want to shittle over this, to be honest with you, but there are some things that did bother me about it. Anyway,
So there you go.
you want to move on to the next one?
Sure. Were there any more things that you wanted to talk about, Skep, or
No,
Irate?
that's fine.
Irate and Dax, did you have any thoughts on this episode?
Dax
I'm
would
just glad Kira wasn't in the episode much. I
Mhm.
don't think she would have been a good fit trying to mesh in there, and writing her into that would have been a bad idea.
Right.
Yeah. So, shall we move on to Far Beyond the Stars, considering that's the next one?
Mm.
Sure.
That was a really good episode, and it was also pretty heavy.
Is this the one with the newspaper?
Yeah.
Okay, good.
So, Far Beyond the Stars is basically a dream episode, or I would call it dream,
Definitely.
vision, whatever, hallucination, something. Ben is having thoughts about leaving Starfleet because he's like, I can't keep doing this. Like he finds out one of his friends' ship is basically lost. At the beginning of the episode, and his father is visiting. And basically he very early in the episode ends up slipping into this vision state where he is a writer named Benny Russell. I want to say in the 50s,
Late 40s or
late
50s.
40s era.
Yeah.
All I had to go on was the
Back
music.
when like Poole Anderson, Robert Heinlein, and that lot, Arthur C. Clarke, were getting their start.
Yeah.
Maybe mid 50s.
Yeah, she referred to the puppet masters.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
So
yeah.
that's right. That's right. And that's
all I
you
had
said
to go on
late
was
50s.
Yeah, all I had to go on was the references to the stories and the music, because obviously I couldn't see the costumes or anything
And it's
like that.
they work at a place like Astounding Tales.
Yeah.
Mm.
So
with like a John Campbell, supposedly, although that wasn't a very John Campbell like figure who was in charge. But anyway.
But this episode basically focuses around Ben Sisko / Benny Russell learning that no matter what, if things get really hard, you need to stick with the thing that you know in your heart you need to do. You can't walk away from it, whether it be writing as they called it in the show, a colored writer in the 50s, or whether it be sticking it out in the middle of a war, and seeing what you've started through. You need to find something in yourself that helps you carry on. And Avery Brooks, holy fuck, in this episode.
Yeah, he's good.
Tour de force.
He's always good when he's given a nice. I don't know what you would call the type of role this is, because he did the same thing even in American History X. Just as a principal, it's like he was given the right role and he knows how to make it emotional but not unbelievable.
Yeah.
Right.
Like when this was, I thought he was good when he was doing the Gabriel Bell thing in the past tense episodes.
Mm-hmm.
This was above and beyond. It was believable because at one point he starts thinking that when he's Benny Russell, he starts thinking that he's seeing people from his quote story, and he freaks out. Like he legitimately freaks out, like a writer would do if they're that deep into a story, right? And they start seeing things from their stories, and they're like, "Oh my god, I think I'm losing my mind." right? And it's just the whole performance, especially at the end. And I don't want to spoil it till Skep's talked about what he likes, but
well, no, you're hitting all the things that I like. It was a fabulous performance. I mean, just an amazing performance. It was extremely well written. I believed every bit of it.
And it was great to see the actors playing different people. That was amazing.
Yes. I love seeing Armin Shimmerman without the Ferengi outfit. He looks awesome. He's just cool dude.
Or Michael Dorn as this like philandering baseball player. Like and it's amazing. Like, or Jake as this hood rat, basically. Or Nog as the like the, you gonna buy that or what? You know, like that and it was fun for me to pick out because their voices were so different because they weren't putting anything on.
Yeah, Ducat looks, completely different, man, without the makeup.
Or General
Martok. I didn't even recognize the guy.
Or frickin' Odo.
I didn't even recognize Martok. I had to go look and who's that guy? I had to look it up in IMDb.
Yeah.
There's that guy there who's talking. He's got a white shirt on, and he's only in a couple of scenes for a couple of words. I'm like, who the hell is that guy?
Mm-hmm.
But without all the makeup, I didn't recognize him. I had to go to IMDb and say, who is this? Oh, that's Martok.
I didn't realize the other cop was Wayne.
Oh yeah, I picked him up right away.
He was?
Yes.
Yeah. Jeffrey Combs.
Yeah.
Really?
Yes.
Holy shit!
I did not get that either, and I was looking at him. I did not pick that up. So
I'm a big Jeffrey Combs freak. I just love everything he's done. He's not the greatest actor in the world, but he can own the part in a unique way. He's got a really
his portrayal of an Andorian in Enterprise is
excellent.
Amazing. It is amazing.
Yeah,
it's one of my favorite parts. He had some great lines.
Look, pink skin. Now you owe me one. Anyway, sorry.
Yeah. But and then at the end, when Benny gets told they didn't want to publish the magazine because your story had a colored captain, and he just loses it, and
a Negro with a typewriter.
Yeah, and Avery Brooks just did a fantastic job.
Yep.
A fantastic job of breaking down. It was so believable, and this is what I like about older Star Trek and why I get so angry with Discovery, because they shed a light on an actual time in history where this was a thing.
Right.
And they did it well.
Yep.
Right? They didn't sit there and go, you stupid, horrible white people, look what you did 50 years ago.
Yeah.
Exactly. Right? This is what happened 50 years ago.
Disco Very is just way too woke.
Yeah.
Yeah. Disco Very.
I like that.
Disco Very bad.
Pisses me off. Yeah, exactly. Disco Very bad.
Like Discovery just takes episodes like this and just spits on them.
Yeah, it does. And whereas DS9 hit it out of the park.
Oh yeah.
This is epic TV as far as I'm concerned. This is something. If you're going to watch DS9, this is one of the episodes that I just really feel you have to watch. You have to watch and enjoy and love and appreciate these people, the characters they play, and also their ability to play other characters. That was the other thing I enjoyed about it. Same
Was
thing
anyone
Chris
else
has said.
surprised that they actually let hard R out of there? N-word
Yeah.
with the hard R?
Oh yeah, nigger.
I was like,
Yeah.
whoa, okay, and it worked.
Well, this was old enough.
It was old
Well,
enough.
yeah. It was it was used as profanity.
Plus a black person said it.
Right.
But it was
Well,
used in the right
black
way,
person said-
though.
Yeah.
It was used in perfectly the right way. It was only used once.
The shit
And-
could not be made today. I'll tell you that.
Oh, hell no. Even if
People are
they
so stupid about that word.
they are. They absolutely are.
I love it when people dare me to say it. I'm like, okay, I'll say it because in the right context, it's not that bad.
Yeah.
It
It's
is
a
Words
word.
only have
It's
the
a
power
word.
that you give
There's
them.
nothing bad
Exactly.
about a word.
It's
It's
a
just
word.
a word. It's
I actually
like
got
saying
into a
rock
Twitter-
is bad.
A Twitter argument about this the other day about the word
Mhm.
boomer, because millennials and Zoomers use this as a way to dismiss people who have more experience than they are. And I've replied many times to many people, both on YouTube and in Twitter, saying, look, if you want to call me a boomer, you're doing me a favor. You're
Mhm.
admitting to me that I have more life experience than you do. So
Right.
you automatically cede the high ground. You've now just said, I'm dumb, you're smart. Well, thank
Yeah.
you.
Yeah.
Please
They're also
continue to call
saying
me a boomer.
You're more talented and you're better looking.
Well, that's
It's-
true too. But the point being
know.
is that the point
It's-
being is that they don't realize that the word that they're using to try to hurt you only hurts you if you let it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Offenses taken, not
Right.
given.
It's
Right.
like when you bring up a good point and all somebody has to say to that is whatever. Then you go, thank you.
Yeah.
I know I'm right.
Yeah.
You know, like,
All you're telling me is when you call me a boomer, all you're really saying is that you're ageist.
Yeah.
That's all you're really saying.
I want to ask him, do you want to put some salve on that?
I call them juniors.
Yeah. Jeez.
If they're gonna call me a
man.
boomer, I'll call you a junior.
Yeah.
Put it in perspective.
Just call them a shithead because that's what they are.
Well,
people who insult other people by saying, well, you're old. Fuck.
I have a
and
problem.
the sky is blue and the moon is above the planet and rotates
Exactly.
with us. And
I always come back to him and I say, I truly hope that you never grow old, that you don't have
Yeah.
this happen to you.
You're going to be a boomer one day too, buddy.
No, what I'm saying is I hope they don't.
As far as the episode's concerned, you guys know how I feel about when a Star Trek show isn't a Star Trek show.
yeah.
I think I made this point before, is that I'm not here to watch Days of Our Lives. I'm here to watch Star Trek. However, this is the only time where I've ever seen it done in a way that I loved it.
Yeah.
After
You really
watching this
did.
episode, I said to myself, shit, Skep already picked this. After watching, I was thinking this could have been in my top 3.
yeah.
This is a really good episode. It was so well written, so well acted, that it came across so genuine that I couldn't find anything to hate about it. I was like, this is great. Everybody's acting. The only little tiny little thing was I would have switched Kira and Dax as in their roles.
Yeah.
I think Dax would have been the sophisticate and Kira would have been the idiot savant.
Yeah.
Yeah, the gum chewer.
Yeah, that's the only thing I would have switched. But otherwise, and that's just the minorest of
Dax
things.
looked
but-
weird with the gum. That was weird.
Yeah.
That's strange.
So I mean, otherwise, I was like, I almost went back and watched it a second time. I was like, this was really good.
Oh yeah. Yeah, that is a wonderful, wonderful episode. So that was why I picked it. All those reasons.
And who thinks Cisco's dad was played really well?
Oh yes.
Who wants a dad like Cisco's dad? I do.
Yeah.
He's always cool.
I like the writing for the dad. I like the way he's portrayed, but I have a hard time with the actor. Something about him just doesn't fit. I don't know why. I can't put a word on it, but anyway. But he's written well.
Yeah. So shall we move on to In the Pale Moonlight?
Yeah, you're gonna have to remind me of this one. I think
So in the Pale Moonlight, is another basically Cisco centered episode. This one's done very interestingly. It's done in the form of a log entry.
Yes.
Yeah.
The whole episode is a log entry.
If he
Yeah.
hadn't picked this one, this would have been on one of my choices because this is one of my favorite endings, and we'll get to it when we get to it. But
Yes,
God, it's awesome.
Yeah.
that's why I picked it, was for the ending. Yes,
Yeah.
absolutely.
So basically the plot of this episode is Cisco is recounting in his personal log. This is very important, not the station log, right? His personal log.
Right.
A series of events over the last 2 weeks where he was trying to bring the Romulans into the war with the Dominion by forging evidence that the Dominion was going to attack Romulus. And who does he enlist in this enterprise? Of course, Garrick.
Garrick.
Of course, right? So,
One of my favorite.
oh yeah.
One of my favorite characters. In
Oh
DS9.
yeah.
Indeed.
For sure.
Andrew
And-
Robinson did a great
Just-
job with this one.
Just double throat him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Awesome.
And to have and it basically goes back and forth between Cisco basically trying to justify in his log why he did what he did, and then it switches into see the the story of what happened. So we have trying to lure one of the most pro-Dominion Romulan senators onto Deep Space Nine to show him this fabricated holographic evidence put onto a Cardassian I can't remember the word opto something rod. It's a rods that Cardassians use to transfer their data.
Yeah, it'd be like a thumb drive or something.
Basically, yeah. But it's you can only record on it once, basically.
Right.
And it basically goes through Cisco battling with himself on this forging of evidence, basically going against everything that Starfleet officers should do in order to save the Federation, right? And so he's basically this is basically we're watching Cisco fight his inner demons in this log.
I say all's fair in love and war.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
And he keeps going back to these casualty lists that he does every Friday. And he goes, he even says in his log, I've begun to hate Fridays. Because he posts them up on the board in ops every Friday.
And he finds out which of his friends has been hurt or killed.
Yeah.
As does everybody on the crew.
Yeah. And he even has to hide things from his crew. Like, there's a scene between him and Bashir that I really liked and I really wanted to point out. He and Cisco and Garrick find somebody to forge this holographic evidence, basically. And he wants biomimetic gel in return. Now, that is basically a no-no in the Federation. You don't trade that. You don't sell that. That shit is...
It's like plutonium is now.
Yeah. That shit is under lock and key. You get official permission to use it. And you basically, it gets... How much do you need official permission to use? Oh, this exact amount? Okay, don't fuck up. Because you're not getting any more. And Cisco wants 85 liters of it. I think it's liters. Is it liters or milliliters?
No, I think it's liters.
He wants a lot.
It's just an absurd amount.
And Bashir is basically like, no, I can't do that.
Give me the order in writing.
And he says that, and Cisco just gets like, and you can tell Bashir is completely shocked just by the way Cisco is acting, because he's like, I'm gonna put this in a complaint, and Cisco is just.
By the way, the name of that data rod is called an optolithic. Data rod.
Thank you.
Yeah. And once it's written, it cannot be changed without, being obviously destroyed.
Yeah.
I never seen Bashir so serious in this entire series before and after. This is a really good acting job at this point, where he's looking at Cisco and like, you got to be kidding me.
Yeah, it's one of the first times you see him hard stand against anybody, really. It's like, no, I'm not doing this. If you force me to do this, I'm going to write a formal complaint.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's 200 liters of biomimetic gel, by the way.
Well, that was the original.
The original amount, but it's all in liters.
Yeah. So
it's not milliliters.
No.
It's down to 85, I think, at the end. Right?
Yes, he got it. He got the forger down to 85 liters, but the forger originally wanted 200.
Yeah. So Cisco asked Bashir to prepare 85 liters of biomimetic gel, and the doctor says, where's this going? What are you going to do with it? It could be, a danger to mankind, to creature kind. And if this is a direct order, you gotta put it in writing. And so Cisco, writes it on a PADD and gives him the order.
Yep. It was a tense scene.
Yep. And Bashir is pissed off that the captain was ready, had already made up his mind that he would order this in writing if needed.
Yeah.
And he said, that's fine. I'm going to report you to Starfleet Medical. And Cisco is just like, fine.
You do what you have to do.
Do what you got to do. Exactly. Bye.
Yeah. Do what you have to do. I just want that shit in the transporter by this afternoon.
Make it so. Exactly.
Yeah.
So that's it. And then, and then they get the rod and they prepare the recording. So I guess Wayun and Daymar are planning the invasion of Romulus, and they make sure they even put like a phony squabble between them, for realistic purposes.
It was a very believable phony squabble,
very, very
especially
believable.
if you remember the season 7. Like if you go back and you watch like all the long session of episodes that we watched.
The next season, exactly. Yeah. So anyway, they and the other thing I loved was when Garrick says, "I'll stop by your quarters later to say hello."
Yeah. Graython Tolar's like, oh shit.
Oh my gosh.
And I love how Cisco, like, throughout this episode when he's recounting the story, he's getting more and more turning into a person he just doesn't like.
Yes.
He's getting punchy. He's getting like, this is why I end up liking Cisco the more I watch Deep Space Nine, because
his humanity comes through, doesn't it?
Yeah. Like if you were a captain on a space station dealing with shit like this, you'd get punchy. You'd get a little antsy.
Yep.
And I think he does a good job of, he doesn't let himself lose it, right? Like, the
souffle will either rise or it won't.
Well, yeah.
Mhm.
And I love when he goes to Garrick, though, at the end, when we find out that, because the whole thing is, they go through this whole song and dance, and the senator discovers that it's a fake. Right? So
How?
we don't know.
Exactly.
Yeah, you don't know how.
We never find out.
Yeah, and that bothered me too.
Yeah, it's the only stickler in the entire episode. I'm like, wait. How did, where, what? You know, and they never answer it. I was like, ugh.
Because let me just tell you a reason that bothered me real quickly, and it was that's interesting. Be afraid, Hammer. I reacted the same way. The reason that I wanted to know why the guy said fake, because that's all you hear him say. He says, "This is a fake.
It's a fake."
Yeah, that's all you hear. And you know, that would be something. If I were that guy, I would do that. I would do that as a tactic to find out if it was really a fake. I would say, "We've discerned this is a fake," you know, and then you can tell in the next tenth of a second just from watching that person's face, just from listening to their breathing, just from listening to the words they say, whether or not they've been lying to you or whether or not it's true. If you know enough about people, if you've been around for a while, if you've raised some kids. You know,
if you go, this is a fake. If you go, this is a fake. The person who faked it's going to go, how'd you know?
Yeah,
without thinking
or something, you know. But they will give you a clue as to what's really going on. So I wanted to know if that was happening, if the guy had done it if he had decided that he was just so prejudiced against the idea that this conspiracy could happen in the first place that he looked at it and said that could never have happened. So you're saying this is a fake, you know, concluding it must be a fake and had not proved it technically, or if he had done a technical evaluation of the rod and found the part that was, you know, had been messed with and had determined absolutely this is a doctored rod. So, and the other thing is, even if he found it was a doctored rod, he would not be able to say definitively that it was a fake. All he could say is it was doctored, you know, unless there was underlying data that he recovered fragments of data or whatever. So anyway, yeah, that was a definite untied loose end. Definitely an untied loose end right there. That bothered me for maybe 1/100th of a second.
For an android. That's an eternity.
Yeah, for an android, that's an eternity. Perfect.
God,
Excellent. Well played.
So we find out in the next scene after Senator Vreenak yells that it's a fake, that mysteriously heading home to Romulus, his shuttle has gone kaboom.
Yeah.
And the Romulans are thinking of going to war because he was heading home from Sakaras.
And not only that, when they do an analysis of the debris, they're going to find the rod.
Yes. So, of course, after O'Brien and Worf and Kira bring this news to Sisko, all he says to them is, "Excuse me," and marches his ass down to the promenade and into Garrick's shop and starts to beat the crap out of Garrick.
When he comes into Garrick's area, he just...
And Garrick knows it's coming. Garrick knows.
Yes, he does.
He knows it's coming.
And lets him do it.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
That was the best thing he could have done. He made sure that he go ahead and hit me because I deserve to be hit. I understand it.
It'll help you soothe your conscience. Go ahead and hit me.
Right.
But in the end, we both know what had to happen.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, and
God,
he
I love
even
Derek.
yes, and he even says if you can let your anger subside for just a moment,
Yes. And
you'll see.
We're getting, and this is a spoiler alert. Yeah. If you don't want to know how this episode ends, stop listening to the stream right now.
Yes.
Okay, because when I watched this for the first time, I thought, oh, please, please, please don't give me the moralistic thing. Killing people is bad. Don't give me that ending. Please don't give me that ending. That's what I was afraid that this was going to go to. I thought it's been a great episode. Don't fuck it up with some namby-pamby, I'm triggered by death ending. And they didn't. They did the right thing.
Yeah. Garrick was like, you chose me because you knew I could do the things you couldn't do.
Exactly. That was just so awesome. And then the scene, where he's ending the log, or he's finishing his log entry, and he decides, you know what, I'm just going to delete this whole thing because what happened needed to happen. And
I got it out.
Yep.
And and just before he deletes it, he goes, I can live with this.
Yes.
Fuck it. Computer, delete this log.
Exactly. And it ends on the blackout of the log being deleted. It was perfect. I the first time I saw that, I actually stood up and cheered.
Yeah.
I was so pumped up.
Well, that's what I loved. That's what I loved about Deep Space Nine was, and Next Generation, don't get me wrong, had a place for its lessons, right? And its morality that it tried to portray. It was Next Gen was very black and white, if you know what I mean. It was very, this is good, this is bad.
It could be preachy
right?
too.
It could. What I really liked about Deep Space Nine was its ability to blur
moral ambiguity is the term you're looking for.
Yes, moral ambiguity. It had its protagonists do things that even they're going, don't know if this is good, but it's happening, so I should carry on because
it's my best alternative.
Yeah. I really like that Deep Space Nine took that direction.
Me too.
I really thought that was a good. Honestly, I think Voyager could have been better if they had done that too.
Oh yeah, that's
because Voyager's
biggest failings.
Voyager was in the Delta Quadrant. They had nobody to answer to. They should have had a little bit more moral ambiguity than they did.
Especially considering who else was part of the crew, the Maquis.
The Maquis, yeah.
Yeah. It's like, are you kidding me? You're not going to tell me that not one... Well, I mean, they did it a couple times, but it should have been a recurring theme. It's like, these people broke away from the Federation, whether or not they were officers or not, it's not really important. They broke away from the Federation's lifestyle to go do something they thought was absolutely important for the survival of an entire peoples. And you're telling me they're not going to take that with them to the Delta Quadrant?
Yeah.
You can go to hell with that.
Yeah.
You telling me they're just going to go, oh shit, we're alone. We may as well combine with the Starfleet people and do exactly what they do. Yeah.
Well, I don't think it was quite that clear. Remember that the people that they focused on the show were the top tier people. Chakotay and B'Elanna Torres. There was a couple episodes where they showed some of the other people. They weren't nearly so on board.
That's true. It took a while for them to get on board with things.
But there is a good point to be made. If it wasn't for Janeway, there would have been a lot more. The way Janeway was written, she was written to be a hard ass kind of.
Yeah.
She's not going to bend. So if she wasn't written that way, there would have been a lot more. I think there would have been a lot more ambiguity on Voyager. But we're getting off topic.
That's true. Were there any final thoughts on In the Pale Moonlight?
I liked it. It was a good episode. I enjoyed watching it.
If Discovery did more stuff like this, I'd give a shit.
I liked all three of these.
Yeah.
I did
it was
too.
solid.
The ending to Pale Moonlight is one of the best endings in DS9 as far as I'm concerned.
Yep.
Yeah.
Just computer, delete entire log.
Yeah. That was
Delete
just
entire log.
perfect. That was just
Erase that
perfect.
shit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I liked it.
I mean, it sounds like shit I do, you know?
Yeah.
So anyway, those are my three favorites that I've run across in DS9.
Those were
I've watched
brilliant
everything now.
picks. Those were amazing
liked it.
choices.
Glad you liked them.
When I finished watching the last one, I was like, I need to make sure Skep knows these were great. So who wants to go next?
Who's already gone?
I have and Skep has.
So Irate's next.
You hear that, Irate? You're next.
What?
Dax, you gonna bring 3?
I will definitely try. It seems like as long as the schedule stays fairly consistent,
Yeah,
I can rush. Yeah, I can rush home on a Saturday and get here pretty freaking quick. I should be okay.
Yeah, it's always 5. So,
but I'm not going this time. It's your turn.
Well, next Saturday's the Auburn Alabama game.
oh
yeah,
shit.
next Saturday is going to be hard for either one of us, really.
Oh shit. Are you guys doing? Is anyone doing Thanksgiving stuff next weekend as well?
Not on the weekend. I actually get to go and have Thanksgiving this year.
Star Trek stream comes first.
Yeah, Star Trek stream comes before Thanksgiving. My God, let's get our priorities in order. But not before the
Not
Alabama
football.
game.
Yeah.
Where this is basically going
priorities.
to be a ritual execution of the Auburn Tigers by Alabama, who are going to have grudge on their mind because they lost to LSU, and they're just going to beat the holy shit out of Auburn.
Yeah, right.
No, I mean you and I both know it. I mean, this year Auburn does not have the team that Alabama has, and they're just going to get killed.
I don't know, man.
I know
I'm
any given Sunday, but
Would you guys like to take next Saturday as a hiatus, or because if we're missing half the show?
Here's the problem with hiati. On a once a week show.
Is that actually the word for hiatus in multiple?
No,
let's
like it.
say that it
creative
is.
Latin. That's creative Latin.
Yeah, I'm going with the hiati next time.
Yep.
I'm taking more than one.
I agree.
In point of fact, in ancient Latin that has come down to us, I doubt that hiatus has a plural. If you really want to know the truth,
Right.
Well, we're gonna pretend that it.
Yeah,
does.
I like it. We're
just
using
sounds
hiatus.
cool.
Stop arguing against yourself. It's great.
Yeah, okay. Well said. But the problem with having a hiatus and you're only doing the stream once a week is you never will build.
That's true.
A viewership. So I think in terms of the fans out there, for my part, I want to do it, and I will be available. So
Rolling Bear says, "Screw football. It's not like it's hockey."
well, it is different from hockey.
I don't know. I think me and Prosper are the only people who actually like hockey enough to follow it.
Hockey's awesome.
Thank you.
I love hockey.
Hey,
I
now
love
we're more
hockey.
friends than we were before.
I was a Blackhawks fan back in the day. I used to go see them when I was at school in Chicago.
Quick note: the plural of hiatus is hiatuses. Thank you, Merriam-Webster.
It's bad. Incorrect. It's hiati.
Nah.
Yeah, I'm sure that they would use a modern plural, which the modern plurals they're not using the ancient construction of I. They just add an S now, or an S if it ends in a vowel. So, or an S.
Did we make a decision?
Well, what do we think, guys?
I mean, if we try to do it, would it just be what, you, me, and who else?
Me, you, and Hammer,
And me.
and you, and Skep.
I'll be
Oh, so you're not going to watch the game?
No, I committed to being on the stream, and I think we should try and build a stream. I can catch Auburn getting the crap beat out of it later.
They have these newfangled devices called DVRs.
Yeah, you can actually record.
Yeah.
You can actually record the game, and you don't have to watch it while they're actually playing it.
I don't believe you.
I know. See, you have to have an optolithic drive.
An optolithic data rod is
Right.
I mean, you can
necessary.
only watch it once
It's
too, so make
necessary.
sure you don't try to rewind it, because once you start, you have to.
Yep.
Change the outcome of the game. But
Okay. My dad's got me.
this is
coming
a fake.
Oh, it's your dad's got you going over to his place.
Yeah.
So,
I understand that.
yeah.
Because he's got the serious thing. And if I had gone to Auburn, it would probably be different. But I didn't. My dad taught there and was the administration there. And my sisters, who hate the ground I walk on, both went there. So,
Well, crap. Does this mean that it's my choice next then?
Yep.
yeah, it's up to you.
All right.
You don't have
Darn
to.
me.
You don't have to tell us now. You can. I'm gonna add you to the group DM.
You said
Zach?
that last time I was on.
Here, you know what I'm gonna do? I'm doing it right now.
He's doing it right now.
Yeah, I was just gonna say there. Add
I'm
him
gonna-
on to the.
I'm gonna do it
message.
right now.
All right, I believe you.
And,
Well, I'm doing it on camera, so you better.
That's proof.
I have proof.
it's a fake.
So you have to come up with 3.
All right, so I'm just gonna start a new thing with all
A
of
new
us.
message thing.
Yeah,
A new group DM.
yeah.
A new
Because
group
I
name?
can't add.
Yeah, you can't. Okay.
I can't add Dax to it,
Oh,
so I'm just gonna start a new.
Did you start the original? I thought Skep started the original group DM.
Oh, be quiet, voiceover. I can't hear
Hang
what people
on.
are
Hang
saying. To
on.
me.
Let me see. See if I.
and to be honest, I couldn't give you 3 off the top of my head right now anyway, and he stole one of mine, so I have to look for some more.
Yeah, you have
They're
a whole
probably
week.
gonna be season 5 or later, so we'll see what happens.
The process that we've been following, I guess, is to come up with one that you plan on doing quickly, and then by the time the stream's ready, have 2 more, just as a teaser, so people have something to watch.
Oh, I'll find one in the next couple, like maybe even the next 30 minutes, and then I'll send that to the group.
Yeah,
Okay.
well, it's no rush, a day, you know.
Well, I'm off tomorrow and the day after, and I intend to screw up my sleep schedule by staying up till probably 4 a.m., so I'll be all right.
That sounds like fun.
Oh, it's going to be great. I'm going to crash so hard on day 1 that I'll be sleeping the rest of the whole first day.
Where is?
I can't add anyone to this.
No, you
Oh
can't.
yeah, yes I can. Yes I can.
Oh,
I can add it right now. Hold on.
Oh, well then re-add
I'm
you.
gonna add you back.
Yeah, I thought you were the one who originally set this up, Skep.
It was me.
Was
He's
it?
the originator.
Yeah, I'm adding you back. You're added back. And,
Okay.
You know, BP, I think you've got one too.
and I'm gonna add.
I think there's two of these.
I'm
Well,
gonna.
I'm only in one of them.
Okay, but you're in the one that I'm adding.
aren't you guys happy? You get to see the behind the scenes chaos.
Gonna add X.
Chaos.
Nothing like a good little bit of chaos.
All right,
Chaos is good.
You're added Dex.
Thank you.
And you re-added me
Irate
back,
Prostate.
right?
Yes. So the people in it are me, Dax, Blind Press, Irate, and Hammer. That's the people.
That is what we need.
That is the people.
We
Just
got
don't
that.
put Polly in, please.
No, Polly's not in this actually.
No,
Good.
I can.
Are
Put
you
You say you want me to put him in?
No.
Okay,
Sorry.
I'll put him in.
Sorry, I didn't mean to say
You
it
sure? You sure that I
so
want him in?
enthusiastically.
Yeah, I'm fucking better than you. Okay.
Oh, brutal. Brutal.
So next
Are we
week
still
will be
live?
yes.
Great.
Next week will be Dax's turn, and Dax will let us know.
Dax will
and-
probably pick a Dax episode.
Of course, Dax episodes are great.
Absolutely.
Um,
Dax is one of my favorite
Hot.
Mm.
characters.
I can
And
argue
of
why I don't
course-
like Esri, but we'll do that later.
And of course, everybody, I will let you know later on in the week what the episodes are when I do my shillage. I hope everyone enjoyed the stream because we have reached the end. I hope everyone has a great rest of their Saturday. I want to thank the panel for hanging out with me. It's always fun. Great picks again, Skep.
Mhm.
Glad you enjoyed them. I do too.
Remember tomorrow, the blind and the special. I do not know if Pincolo will be joining me. He is really sick. I'm trying to convince him he needs to go to urgent care. I think he might have something bacterial, but he thinks it's viral. So, yeah. Anyway, it may just be the blind tomorrow, but there will be a stream. 10 p.m. Eastern, 9 p.m. Central, and of course the coffee stream on Monday. And remember, guys, next Friday is call-in day because it's the last Friday of the month.
And Wednesdays with Skep with.
Yes, and Wednesdays with Skep.
Wednesdays with Skep, I meant.
Yes.
Toy box.
So on that note, everybody, I hope everyone has a great day, and thank you all for watching.
Bye, guys.
Bye,
Bye,
people.
guys.
Bye, y'all.